The SCAR CQB custom is officially done. I've tested it and it works. I haven't tested the FPS yet, so I'm not sure how hard we're hitting. But everything is put together and ready to go. Only a couple minor hiccups as I was putting it together. You know, even though I made sure I had room to make things loose, once you add some paint in the mix, things can get really tight. So it still can come apart, but it's not going to be easy. So that's just kind of how it goes when you do any of these, when you start painting things. I mean, you really got to be careful because things really kind of thicken up, and just it never, goes 100% to plan. But everything did work out. I just had to do a couple, kind of modifications, but very minor ones. So that's great. So we'll talk about the performance here. If you remember from the build video, this is an Emerbu SCAR V2. So these came out in late spring, early summer, and these have a high-speed motor. They have metal gears, metal barrel, and an upgraded spring. However, I went ahead and I went to a better high-speed motor, so I put a Chi-Hi high-speed motor in there, and then I upgraded the spring a little bigger to an M95, so nothing crazy. I think we'll be around 300 FPS now, but we'll have to wait and see. So we got your 11.1 volt battery back here, and then you can see all just the custom work that I did, right? We got some cool metal flip-up iron sights here, and these are from the brand Faichi. All right, they make a lot of cool optics and stuff, and they do have a lot of affordable optics and stuff too, in that kind of under $50 range for sure. Something like this is, I believe, around $20, but they also have a lot of optics in that $20 to $50 range. So check them out on Amazon. So let's look at it a little closer, right? So I just painted out the stock. Didn't really do much different there. Painted this area black, painted the butt that kind of army green. Up top here, we got those sights that I talked about, right? Went ahead, and these are just kind of rail covers. Now, why I put these back here is one downside to the SCAR V2 in general across all sellers is the stock just slides off too easy. So if I have these back down here, they catch this from sliding up and off, right? So that's good. So that's what's taken care of there. You can see the canted riser, right? So we got the canted riser, and then I went ahead and I made kind of some little, I guess, covers. This one is a Kill Flash style cover there. And that way I could tie in the colors, and I use this quilted pattern like you see out there on the fake suppressor. All right. We got a little grip down here that goes tight up against the mag well. So that was something I had to modify. And then here was a little custom made kind of piece I did, just so that you could go ahead and, that's being CQB style. You just kind of have your hand right there, right? Again, repeated these up here, really just for looks, and the same thing on the top. So we got them up on the top too. So those were ones that had slid on super nice till I painted, so then I had to do a little bit of quick melting. Got your charging handle here. It still charges fine, right? It is a little tight, but it will bounce back without pushing it and stop charging at least. Right, then threaded tip. So this piece that I made that has the threaded tip on it goes over, and even though there was plenty of room before, that's on super tight. So the threads are the metal barrel barely gets into the threads. And I've talked about before, I try to have almost all the threads, the metal barrel going into almost all the threads just to reinforce. So I did print a new piece that is slightly wider that should slide over there and have no issue. I mean, there's no issue right now. I just worry about the integrity of those threads if somebody tries to keep changing them all the time. Otherwise, you can just see kind of the different colors that we did. I did end up using, you see some heat inserts in a lot of places, right? And that's what I do just to make sure it stays together nice and good. And then it also comes apart better, because otherwise those screws are just going into plastic. So any of these plastic blasters, if you take them apart a bunch, it's just inevitable that they end up stripping out the plastic because it's plastic, right? So it's not going to last forever. All right, but I really like how it turned out. Safety still works fine. Of course, there was no semi-automatic on this. It's just automatic and safety. And of course, there's plenty of room back here for the 11.1, and the extending stock still works. Overall, I think it's pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, comment, like, subscribe, and make sure you participate in those monthly giveaways.